Welcome to the Marxist Workers Party's podcast, Izwi Labasebenzi, bringing reports and analysis of the news from a working class and Marxist perspective, fighting for jobs for all, a 12,500 Rand per month minimum wage and high-quality service delivery, organising to arm the workers and trade union movement with a revolutionary socialist and Marxist programme, building the struggle against capitalism and for working class political power and socialism. In this special bulletin, EPWP workers in Buffalo City organise and unite in a struggle for permanent jobs and a 12,500 Rand per month minimum wage, bringing the creation of a national campaign against the ANC government's slave labour programmes a step closer. On Saturday, the 17th of April, a workers' mass meeting took place in the East London township of Umdantsane, part of the Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality, or BCMM. The meeting was historic for bringing workers together from the ANC government's different public sector slave labour programmes in the Buffalo City area. These programmes fall under the EPWP, the Expanded Public Works Programme, and its different spin-offs, such as the Community Work Programme, CWP, in the Department of Roads, the Community Health Workers, CHWs, and various local projects such as the so-called Beautification Project, Marshals, Solid Waste, Workers dealing with sanitation, and other projects too. The Marxist Workers Party is working to organise, link up, and unite all of the different EPWP programmes around the country into a national movement for permanent jobs and a 12,500 Rand per month minimum wage. We are working closely with the National Union of Public Sector and Allied Workers, NUPSAW, an affiliate of the SAFTU Trade Union Federation. Over many years, NUPSAW has been fighting for permanent jobs for community health workers. In Gauteng, NUPSAW has achieved an incredible victory, with the Department of Health agreeing to absorption and more than doubling workers' wages. Now, NUPSAW is building a campaign in the other 8 provinces to do like Gauteng. Unity with all other EPWP sectors is being placed at the campaign's heart. Workers in Buffalo City described the conditions they face.
My name is Asanda Fekema. I come from a small township called Umdantsane in East London, in Eastern Cape. I'm working at Department of Roads and Services in Buffalo City Metro Municipality. I've worked at Department of Roads from 2013 up until today. That's when the project started, where we were earning 1,600 Rand a month, working 3 days a week and 12 days a month. And there's others that have started in 2012, which is BCMDA and CWP as well. Those that are earning 780 a month. So many, like the marshals, they don't even work during the year. They only work on big events like in summer.
My name is Nomsa Mgai. I'm working at BCMM at Roads Department. I'm starting here at 2013. I'm doing potholes in the roads so that the cars can run right. They treat me bad. When people are getting pregnant, we haven't got this maternity leave. If you are sick, you must come to work. You mustn't go to hospital. If you go to hospital, when you're sick, they ask us to bring somebody on your place so that you can give that somebody on your salary the money for that day because you were not in. They didn't treat right at all. They didn't want to hear from us when we've got problems at all. When we started here, we go to them asking to be permanent. When we start here, they said they're going to take us to workshop and training. They didn't take us to there. They have empty promises all the time. They didn't give us permanent job. As from 2013, we always quarrel to them, asking them to give us permanent job because we are hungry. We have children to take them to school. We have our dependents. They didn't care about us.
My name is Tuletu Mapango. I am a single parent. I survive with 780. I feed people with 780. I pay rent with 780. Everything I do depends on that 780.
My name is Nomthanda Spinana. I'm from Kaiskamahuku, working for Kapula Clinic. We are not permanently employed. We are volunteers. I personally started in 1995. Volunteered for 8 years without receiving anything. From 2003, we start giving 600 rands, and we are crying because things are getting up every day. We are breadwinners. I personally, I'm a widow, and many of us there are widowers too. I bought an electricity yesterday for 100 rands, which is about plus minus 64 units. So somebody like myself, how can you do that? The petrol has gone up with 1 rand in this same month.
My name is Akwana Lolo, and I live at NU2M Tanzania, and I'm under the Ward 42. By 2018, when President Ramaphosa came here to Sisatu Stadium, said the region is dirty and BCM must employ as much as more employees to clean up this region, and that was promised to be the permanent job. And then we were called due to our wards to come and receive employments, and we were picked as a number of 50 to receive the jobs. Along the way, when we have picked the number of 50 and the other people of the community are gone, something changed. When they came with the contract, they take it again whilst we were shocked. Wow, we are being employed permanently, really. They say these are wrong contracts. They bring another contracts, and those contracts were written EPWP. Then we asked when we will start. They say, don't rush, you will start to work. And then 2 months gone, and we were promised to work 6 months under that contract that we were forced to sign. And if we didn't sign it, we will end up lose the jobs. And the councillor have put a threat on us that if you don't want to sign this contract, I'm going to go there on the street and pick some people who sold cigarettes and say, I will just get them into the job and you'll get nothing. So we end up signing the contract, and then while we are working 2 months on the contract, ignoring the 2 months that we didn't work, which is January and February, we started in April, May. By May, they say the contract is being terminated because of the loss of money, because they don't have enough money to pay us. And then we were shocked. Why was that thing happening in the moment? But they say they will contact us. We must not contact them.
This abuse of workers by local ANC councillors was a recurring theme. Buffalo City is an ANC-run metro, and the Eastern Cape an ANC-run province. Umdantsane itself is a historic stronghold of the ANC. This political monopoly has bred arrogance in the councillors and a total disregard for the suffering of the community, workers and their families. The councillors do not act like the representatives of the people, but at their best behave like the worst cruel and heartless bosses, and at their worst, behave like mafia bosses, using the EPWP to build patronage networks by using placements to reward, to punish, and to demand loyalty, making the democracy that was so hard fought for in South Africa totally hollow.
My name is Xolelwa Nkonzo. I'm staying resting in Ward 13 under Councillor Portia Matiwan. She was deploying by 2016. There was the employees of the 2011 Councillor Mekan. When they started to the Councillor Matiwana in 2016, they put it out all those workers I was working on to Mekan. They will start a new employees. After that, Matiwan, if you don't want to go to with Matiwana, because the husband of Matiwana was arrested of the 2 months. Then if you are not going to the court to raise up the Matiwana's husband, if Matiwana did not go to the court, Matiwana put it out in the work. Then take another one. Each and every month, when you go to the bank is empty.
I go to the councillors. I'm living next to councillors. The councillor that didn't do anything. I don't understand what's happening in my councillor. She sees me when she's struggling because I am a neighbor of him. I go to them telling me, it's a struggle to my work. I don't have money. What about my children? My children are suffering. They do nothing. They do nothing.
The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdowns made the precariousness of EPWP workers' employment even worse. Many were not allowed to work and did not receive their stipends. However, when workers tried to access the 350 Rand Social Relief of Distress grant, they were rejected.
We just go to apply for 350 Rand, which was the COVID beneficiary for people who are not working. The system kicked us out, saying you are under government payroll, and we go back to them asking why are you lying to us, because when we apply for 350 rands, the system kicks us and say we are under government payroll, and we show them some messages and say the councillor say he doesn't know what this means because the mayor didn't tell him so.
Since there is a COVID, I didn't get my payment, but I don't know the reason why doing this. But they said my name doesn't go to the place where send him COVID money.
To make that 350 Ramaphosa give people who are not working, we are not allowed to get that 350 because in the system it appears as if we are BCMM employees.
These experiences have pushed workers to organise. The secretary of the workers' leadership, Asanda Fugema, explained the origins of the campaign.
The campaign started with 2 people, which is SA2 that works at Solid Waste in King Williamstown, and me, Asanda. We created the worker leadership when we had our first general meeting, which was held in Danzane NU2 Stadium. I've met Marxist Workers Party through a telephone. One day I was watching Channel 157, Moja Love. There is a show called Skipama Files. I saw that program that day where EPWP workers were fighting to go back to work. So when I was watching the show, I saw Weisman Hamilton being interviewed. And so I took his number because I knew that here in East London, in fact, in Buffalo City, we're also going through the same pain. So I thought to myself, after a long time, here is our help. I took his number, I sent him a message, and then he phoned me. That's how I met him. And so on. After that, I've met NAPSO through him. So the campaign started. Saturday's mass meeting was organized by the leadership. It was organized by the leadership from national. It was organized by leadership from PE, which is Zuksani was also part of the organizer of the meeting, the mass meeting.
And explained the actions taken by workers in the days leading up to the 17th of April mass meeting.
I was one of the people that had the contract terminated due to there are no funds. And it was terminated by an SMS that was circulating. On the 1st of April, we had a sit-in in City Hall where we were trying to see if the mayor of Buffalo City, Xola Phakathi, would come out and ask why are we there. But unfortunately, he never came out. So we went to hand in a memorandum with our demands. There's only one thing that we want from him. It's absorption, which is permanent employment. So after that, we gave him 8 days to respond, which is on the 13th of April. We were supposed to get an answer, of which we never got. That's why the workers, they were so angry, they were so furious. We almost pushed that car back because he wanted to run away. So after that, they gave us a date to come in for a meeting. On the 15th, we had a meeting with them. But now we're still waiting for their answer, which is we're going to sit with them again on the 6th of May.
At the mass meeting, the question of the way forward was the focus. How should workers use the time before meeting with the municipality on the 6th of May? How could workers strengthen their organisation, broaden the campaign to include more workers, and prepare for the inevitable long struggle ahead? Solly Malema, national organiser of NUPSO, addressed the meeting on these issues.
What is important is the unity of the EPWP. What is important is the unity of the community health workers in this province. We know that your province is the most corrupt province. And how do we deal with that corruption? Is when all of us as workers will come together, regardless of the sector you are in. Because all of you are the slaves of the very same corrupt government. I was given the report, say they met with the mayor and they promised to revert to you, to come back to you in the next two weeks with answers. Yes. But we cannot wait for the 2 weeks. We must go to the ground and mobilize and prepare ourselves for war, because we are in a war. This is a class war. I get your comrades. Yes. If you think we are playing here, I think you are in a dreamland. This is a serious war. Yeah. And when you enter the battlefield, you must be ready to fight. We are not going there to lose. For us to win this battle, it means we need to be ready. We need to mobilize all workers around PE who are also exploited. When we shut down Eastern Cape, we must not only shut down Tanzania, we must shut down the entire province and tell ANC government that enough is enough. We want our jobs, we want permanent jobs, we want to be paid 12,500 or less. Yes.
Executive Mkwevu, coordinator of the Gauteng EPWP Workers Forum and member of the MWP's Executive Committee, focused on the importance to the success of the campaign to build a strong workers' leadership and to join NUPSO.
Now, njengoba besixoxa ke izolo sibonisana ukuthi njengoba sekuqaliwe umsebenzi, how do we actually take it further angithi sa identify lapha phakathi kwenu ukuthi bakhona abantu abasebaxoshiwe emsebenzini angithi as we speak ama contract wabo aphelile last month angithi and we also notice ukuthi akhona awasazophela mhlambe upheleni kwalenyanga le ayaphela futhi angithi. Now with that understanding we said let's draw up a program that will actually take the struggle lesi sabantu abaluzi umsebenzi nalabo abasazoluza umsebenzi angithi sathi ke into efunakalayo kahle kahle is to organize Eastern Cape in general angithi, but we start here because lana sekukhona something ekhona angithi sathi ke le leadership eninayo khona manje it needs to be beefed up angithi sifaka amanye ama-comrade ngaphakathi for us to be able to organize Eastern Cape as a whole. Then it means we need to have a committee angithi i-committee ezobhekana nokuthi uhlelo esizohamba ngalo nasiloko siqhuba lo mzabalazo angithi. So the first thing is that we need to have a union angithi. So we brought for that part angithi i-union izasiza ngoba izokwazi ukusibhekela the legal aspect of our struggle angithi, but then thina sizothatha a political line yale struggle angithi comrades. Thina sizotoyitoya nasiceda nangabe kumele siye court and then we will use our union for that ukuthi izosithathela lo msebenzi phambili angithi.
Waisman Hamilton, General Secretary of the Marxist Workers Party, spoke about the broader political and economic context within which the Buffalo City struggle will unfold, and of the importance of workers on the different EPWP programs building unity with permanent public sector workers too.
Amandla! The Marxist Workers Party brings its greetings and its solidarity in the struggle that you are engaged in for permanent jobs and a minimum wage of 12,500. And our support is the support that is also coming from the international that we belong to, the Committee for the Workers International. And let's be clear, comrades, that the attack that has been carried out against the EPWP workers that led to their dismissal last year in Gauteng, and that takes place at the end of every contract everywhere in the country, is not only part of an exploitation of workers in this country, it is a method that is being used by the capitalist class everywhere in the world. And therefore the struggle that you are fighting here is a struggle that will give courage to workers all over the world, but we have to start here. Because your struggle is taking place against the background of the biggest attack that this government has carried out against public sector workers since they came to power in 1994. In 2018, they signed an agreement with the public sector workers for a wage increase that will be implemented in 2018, 2019, and 2020. Come 2020, they suddenly decide that they are no longer going to respect that agreement. They tore it up. So the increase that was supposed to be paid in 2020 was simply cancelled. More than that, they are saying that there will be no increase for public sector workers for the next 3 years. On top of that, they are refusing to pay the bonuses that are supposed to pay under PMDS, the Public Management Development Policy. They are intending to cancel all the automatic promotions that used to be given to public sector workers in the past. If you take all of those measures together, what they are attempting to do is to turn the whole public sector into EPWP. And that is why your battle is so important. Because you must tell the public sector workers who are permanent that if you don't support this struggle, one day you will also be reduced to the conditions of slavery that we are enduring. That is why the question of unity of struggle is of such critical importance. And the only way in which we are going to win is if we are united and if we appeal not only to the public sector workers, by the way, but to all the workers, even in the private sector, in the parastatal. Because let's remember, if the Labour Appeal Court can say to the government that the agreement that you signed in 2018 is illegal and unconstitutional, what it means is that there's no point having collective bargaining. There's no point having a PSCBC in the public service. And the bosses in the private sector are going to say, if an elected government disrespects the workers, refuses to pay their increases, why should we in the private sector do so? The government, in other words, is inviting the private sector to intensify the exploitation of the workers in the private sector as well. And therefore, comrades, this struggle that you are fighting is a battle for the entire working class.
With a clear way forward agreed upon, with a campaign of mobilisation at its heart, workers ended the meeting feeling confident.
This meeting, all the projects were on the same squeeze, which is the tight squeeze we have, but in different ways. So others on this ward, there's road on my ward, there's beautification on my ward, like the way I work, and there's people working on toilets, like every ward contains those people. So we end up moving together, seeing that the councillors are just playing with us, and they are ruling and dividing us. So their division works because when they rule and divide, we fight together. So we end up collecting ourselves together and talk. Now we are not fighting for one project, we are fighting for all the projects under PCM, because PCM is killing us.
NUPSO has shown us something we didn't even know. The more you are combined, the more strength you get. For me, I think, and all of us are very, very pleased with that, because together we can make something instead of us being CSW standing on our own. The battle we are fighting is the same. So there's no need for us not to want to join forces with other workers. That would be highly appreciated to us.
I think I have a hope now, because by the time Asanda called all the projects to combine it, I have a hope now. I lose hope before, but now I have hope, because I know I'm going forward. I am not moving back.
And now our Marxist Party is here now with our NUPSU.
My name is Sakum Somnono. It was positive, the outcome of the meeting of today, and we have faith of this party and NAPSU. He will fight for us and we will win this battle no matter what.
Izwi will report on the development of the EPWP campaign in the Eastern Cape and the outcome of the meeting with the municipality on the 6th of May in future podcasts. The Marxist Workers Party calls on all the EPWP campaigns that are developing around the country to participate in the upcoming Working Class Summit being convened by the SAFTU Trade Union Federation, currently penciled for June. The experiences of EPWP workers shows how the capitalist profit system extends its tentacles into the public sector via the system of tenders and outsourcing, complemented by the super-exploitation of EPWP cheap labour. This system is then policed by a network of political patronage dominated by the ANC, whose councillors act as local labour brokers. This parasitic looting has led to the point where local government, and therefore service delivery, has virtually collapsed across huge swathes of the country. This entire system needs to be smashed. Therefore, for EPWP workers, the question of building a workers' party capable of challenging the ANC's patronage networks by opening up a political front in the struggle is not an optional extra, but a central necessity. Without it, the nearly 1 million EPWP workers around the country are fighting with one hand tied behind their backs. The Working Class Summit must set a date for the launch of a workers' party in order to arm the most exploited workers with a crucial new weapon in the struggle to end unemployment, exploitation and poverty, and win permanent jobs paying a living wage of 12,500 rand per month. If you have any questions or comments about the contents of this bulletin, please let us know, and we may try and respond in future bulletins. Also, if you know about or are involved in any struggles you would like us to report on, whether that is in your workplace, your community, your university, college or school, or have any suggestions of future topics that you would like us to cover, please contact us. The Marxist Workers Party is an affiliate of the Committee for a Workers' International, the CWI, building global working class unity in the struggle for a socialist South Africa, a socialist Africa, and a socialist world. If you would like to join the Marxist Workers Party or find out more about us, including building the CWI in Southern Africa, please visit our website at www.marxistworkersparty.org.za, find us on Facebook and Twitter, or call or WhatsApp us on 081 366 7375.